Hey everybody, it's after midnight, it is hot as hell, and it's the witching hour, so let's do July Q&A. First thing first, I got a lot of Q's today for this one. This is so wonderful. Let's start off with Meredith's questions. Meredith asks, advice you would give yourself at 10 years old, 15 years old, and 20 years old. First one, 10 years old. Listen, Jones, I know you've had a crush on this red-haired girl who lives nearby for 2 years now. She doesn't like you. Stop it. Stop crushing. Stop. There are other people who will love your weird little self. Do not crush on her. And don't crush on her for like 6 more years later, because it won't help you. At 15 years old, I need you to relax, buddy. I know you're bummed out. I know you're mopey, but you're not going to be in Modesto forever. I know you feel like there's nothing to do here, and you don't have a car, and there's no culture or whatever, but you will eventually end up in other places. At age 20 years old, I know you love theater. I know it sounds wonderful, but under no circumstances should you form a brand new theater company with a recently joined together couple, a boyfriend and girlfriend, who are untested. They haven't been together for that long. Because what happens sometimes is a couple months into the relationship, they get very violently angry towards each other, and you've got thousands of dollars in the line in shows and people you've hired, and things just get messy. Those are the pieces of advice I give myself. Meredith also asks, what is you consider your proudest moment in life thus far? I say getting here. New York City. It's been 4.5 years now, and it took 1.5 years of planning to get here. And based on the circumstances which led to me getting here, I could have done one of two things. I could have self-imploded, or who knows, worse. And I needed to move. I needed to change. It was either this or remain in another decade of stagnation or worse. And no matter what happens, I'm extremely proud that I was able to get here and start making things. Like, really make things. Goal for 1 year from now. I want King of the Hobos to be recurring off-Broadway. That can be once a month. That can be twice a week. But in an off-Broadway house, recurring. Goal in 5 years, I want to have at least 2 guest starring roles in television series. I want to have at least 1 film featured role. I want to also ideally have this idea I've been playing with, which is to combine Ghost on a Stick and King of the Hobos and do them in rep in a cycle off-Broadway, or Eye in the Sky, go on Broadway, like Circle in the Square, where we alternate them every night, and then in between have like on Wednesdays double shows with music in between, or Q&As. Next question from Mom. How is the Black Plague play going? I wrote a play for Megan called This Great Mortality, which is about the Black Plague. It was set in Avignon, France in 1348, and it's a cycle because it essentially has a beginning and an end, and then 11 scenes in the middle, but in 2 different tracks, where the audience can see one track through the eyes of the poor and one track through the eyes of the rich. So you have to see the show twice to get an understanding of the whole cast of characters. 6 actors play a total of 23 roles. Very intense stuff, some deep, powerful monologues in it, but it's a challenge because it would involve a multi-purpose room that would be able to accommodate moving people back and forth. I gave it to Megan. Last year we were talking with a European director about possibly doing something, but it's still in development. It's kind of just sitting there on hiatus, and with Hobo having more momentum, it's going to sit there for a while. If anybody really wants to come up to me and say, hey, here's $10,000, Jara, I want to really see some Black Plague play action, hell, we'll do it. But in the meantime, that's where it's going to stay. Next question. And this is from Anna, my dear friend Anna. She was attending a conference addressing this very question, and she asks, how do you live a remarkable life in a conventional world? And how do you be happy while doing it? I thought about this one a lot. I spent all day thinking about it, actually. And I guess the most succinct answer I have is, well, you pursue intently an authentic, adaptable purpose. Intently means you do it wholeheartedly. When you're not working, you are brainstorming about it, you're talking to people about it, you are, I hate the word networking because it sounds so fake, but you are in collaboration with other people who share that purpose. It's adaptable because you may say, oh, I want to be a journalist, but then you realize that writing also may pertain to other fields. Or some people, friends of mine, have said, oh, I want to be an actor, but then they end up realizing dramaturgy is more the style. If you asked me a decade ago if I would have been a solo performance artist, I would have said no, because my idea of solo performance felt so gimmicky and fakey compared to the stuff I do now. So I believe that if you pursue intently an authentic, adaptable purpose, that is how you can live a remarkable life in a conventional world. Now the second question, which I think is a more difficult one, is how do you be happy doing it? And this is where I get all controversial, because I'm a very cynical guy with a lifelong history of depression, and I say, I don't think happiness exists. I think it is not a current, lasting, permanent effect. I think it is a notion we've created to buff up as a goal, and we constantly check ourselves with it like a litmus test going, oh, we're not happy, compared to what we perceive as an external assessment of other people's happiness. And yeah, some days we're going to feel like shit, because, we have to make sacrifices in the pursuit of those goals that we do to our authentic, adaptable purpose. But I think what can help that is by building a community of like-minded people and support the hell out of their own authentic, adaptable purposes. See their work, read their books, go to their shows, see their symposiums, sit next to them and ask them about what drives them. Don't think about yourself for a goddamn minute. And I think that will generate a happiness of a communal self. Lisa asks, favorite place to eat in New York City? I love sweet stuff, the Narrows pastry. You get these wonderful cannolis, and of course gelato's great, and ice cream. It's way in the Lower East Side, so if you're doing shows there or seeing stuff in Lower East Side, you can go there. And then if you want the touristy stuff, there's also Katz's Deli nearby. What do you like best about living in New York City? Again, I think it's the idea that because of the harshness of everything, the mere friction of just being able to get up in the morning and move somewhere, the mere fact you can do that constantly creates a community among people. Having lived on both coasts, I've seen people on the West Coast be very overtly friendly and not speak to you or help you out for a decade. Whereas in New York, I've seen people who on the surface can seem very brusque or very hesitant, but call you in for projects or really surprise you by thinking of you for things which end up paying off 1,000-fold. And I've done the same. I've helped people in ways which have saved their life, saved their apartments, saved their time and efforts. I've helped people move, I've helped people carry things. I've offered all kinds of education, support, and love, and I think that this city creates that because the city is such a frictive force. And by developing a community, naturally, it's what makes it wonderful. Now, my questions for you this month. Number 1, what do you want to see more on this site? Tell me. What things would you like me to write about, or sing about, or talk about? 2. What is a nickname you've always wanted people to call you, and why? Alright guys, love you.